He's like, I'm going to live my life and live it to the fullest now that I know that there's a clock on it. Well, that's life, right? When Chris got his diagnosis, we were both in the middle of like a very busy time for us. And I remember he had to go speak at a conference for his work. And I had an acting job that I was going to go to in California. And I remember we got this diagnosis, and it takes kind of a long time to get diagnosed. And in that time, we're just an absolute mess. And there was a little bit of a relief in, okay, this is what it is. This is what we're facing, right? But also like, okay, this is literally the worst case scenario. Like, we can't fight this. Like, we can't get chemo or treatments, or like, we can't do anything. And so I was like, and Chris, we were dealing with it and trying to figure out how we tell our kids and our friends and family. And then I was like, well, and then obviously you're not going to your conference, and I'm not going to go to California. And obviously we're not going to, And he was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, well, he's like, well, what should we do? Like, stop living life? And I was like, yeah, kind of. I was like, I don't want to leave the house. I want to get in bed, pull up the covers, cry. And that seems like, I don't think I'm wrong here. That actually seems like the appropriate response. And I remember he looked at me and he said, well, you can do whatever you want, obviously, but I'm not going to live like that. We had some friends that were getting married, and he was like, I'm going to the wedding, and then the next day I'm going to work, and I'm going to go to this conference, and I'm going to live my life. Because that is the only way that I can do this, Lisa. He's like, I'm going to live my life and live it to the fullest now that I know that there's a clock on it. And you can do whatever you want, but that's not going to make you happy, just so you know. And it was kind of a little bit of this tough love of like, not like, oh, honey, it's going to be okay. It was like, I don't know if you're kidding, and I actually don't think you're kidding, but I'm not doing that. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll go act and be funny. But I like that because it really put into focus of, I could do whatever I wanted to do. I could have gotten back in bed. And there have been days that I've done that, of course, and just felt sorry for myself. It's not how I want to live. It actually doesn't make you feel any better, and it doesn't do any good. I've learned